Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Coaches Show. I'm Jake Clark, joined by a bit of a different face here in the studio. Coach Jimmy K got a big matchup against Shalleck here today. But first, we want to talk a little bit about your time here at Sterling. What was it like back when you went here as a student?
I spent the late 80s, early 90s here at Sterling High School. I graduated in 1991. Smaller in terms of campus. When we look at like the new additions, the new gym, a lot of new facilities, TV studio we didn't have back then. But definitely the improvements that have happened over the year have been spectacular in terms of what the campus offers. And 90s style back then, so I'm sure the haircuts, the clothing, all was a little bit different style. But yeah, I mean, not much has changed in the sense that the school I feel is always very very prideful. You come here, it's a clean campus, it's a fun campus. We have a lot to offer, so that has stayed true and true. But but definitely like the improvements over the years have been awesome to see the school grow.
And for the couple people that might not know you out there, give us a quick recap of your coaching career and how you got to this point.
All right, so I started, and with the help of Mr. Sheehan, our superintendent, I started at Gloucester City with my first girls head coaching job there. He was actually, Mr. Sheehan at that time was the boys head coach and was actually doing the girls program as well as a JV schedule, so he was handling both programs. So coming out of college, I had reconnected, I'd gotten a job there, spent a few seasons there as a head coach, and then from there, I moved on to Haddon Township, where I currently teach and was the varsity soccer coach there for about 16 seasons. And had stopped, took a year off. This position had opened up, and there was an opportunity to maybe be at least an assistant or head coach. And fortunately, the head coaching opportunity came through, and I've been here now for my fourth season.
Yeah, and that's amazing. And give us a little, now focusing on the team itself, summer training, and how has that propelled you guys into the success that you've seen so far?
So I think one of the keys with us since I've been here is we do have a very, I don't want to say vigorous, but a steady summer commitment. We require the girls to be in the weight room a lot, to do a lot of their strength training, a lot of the stuff that is important with staying healthy, lasting long in the race. We've been very committed to that, which has been great. And I think over the last couple of years, we've gotten out to quick starts, which has helped us a lot, because I feel like we come in probably a little bit better in shape than teams. I think the challenge with us has been, how do we prolong that? How do we last longer into the season? And each year we seem to do better with that and manage that. But summer was great. We played in the Deptford Summer League, 7v7. That was an awesome time. We had 2 teams in there. Our older girls won the championship in that. And I think that was an awesome kind of precursor to the season, just getting that mentality of, hey, we want to be a successful team and have some wins, and that was a great start to get us going in that direction.
Yeah, and obviously the success has come, and it's come quick. Give us a brief recap of the season to this point.
So right now we're sitting at 6-0-2. Great start. We got through conference play the first half undefeated, which is always hard. Haddonfield, West Deptford, Haddon Heights, Haddon Township, great teams. We had a recent tie with 2 non-conference games, Paul VI, who was probably a little bit of a victory tie because they're a very strong team. I was very impressed what they brought to the table, and for us, we got down in that game early and came back to tie, and just recently played Group 4 RV team who was strong. I mean, probably a game, I think we outshot them 17-4, probably a game that would have been nice to see us come away with a W, but in credit to them, they played us very scrappy. They play a hard Olympic conference schedule, and I think we got to see even teams in the Olympic that don't have a strong record are still strong teams. So that was a great tie. It's still a good tie for us.
Yeah, you started the season off on a 6-0 note, and then obviously the 2 ties you just mentioned. But 6-0, what were some things that were just consistently going right through that stretch?
I think the scoring was a big thing. I mean, I think we knew defensively, having Maddie Sims back a second year, bringing back some seniors back there, Maddie Whalen, Erin Quinn, having the experience of Elise Simpson, Chloe Chestnut, Morgan Sims, all girls that kind of rotate in our back for us. We knew we'd have some experience back there for that. Our question was, how do we replace Bridget Scholes, losing her to an injury, and we shifted Monty up to a forward role, and Tony Troyola was taking on more of a full-time role, whereas last year she was a kind of a backup player, bench player for us. So it was, how are we going to score? And we found a net, and probably surprisingly so, the amount of times we did early on, but it was a good thing. It was a good thing to find a net early and get some confidence.
Yeah, and then the 2 ties that you mentioned, obviously couldn't walk away with a win, but I guess it's better than a loss as a tie. Talk about some of the things that could have went a little better for you guys to walk out with victories in those games.
Yeah, so I think, the first game, again, with Paul to 6, we came back. I think the start of our game, I think that's one thing we seem to be, at times, coming out of the gates a little bit slow. If you look at some of our games, our Haddon Township game, 0-0 at half, and 4-0 in the second half. In the second half, we woke up. In the PVI game, similar. Slow start, got down, and our second half was phenomenal. I thought we were actually outplayed them second half. We had a great opportunity in overtime, head ball off of Tony Tirolo, off the crossbar, and we were close. But the start definitely probably set us back there. And in the RV game, similar. I mean, I think it was just getting ourselves out of the gates quickly, setting the tempo, and when we realize when we play good teams, and if you don't do that, sometimes you're going to have to play from behind, or we get in a situation where we're forcing a little bit because we're not scoring as easily. So, but again, back to that, probably just getting out of the gates quickly.
Yeah, and to this point, you've had major success in scoring, but coming into the season, losing a goal scorer who was your leader last year, and Bridget Dixon, was a tough loss. Talk about a little bit of girls that stepped up offensively.
Yeah, so, Bridget, huge loss. I mean, top scorer on our team, one of the arguably best offensive threats in South Jersey. We were very confident coming in that we were going to be able to score. Like, it was going to be teams have to stop us and show us what to do. But credit to Tony Tirolo stepping up early, Monty Draham, sophomore, coming in goals, and Ireland Kay, who we relied a lot on for assists last year, and she was kind of our playmaker in the middle, both her and Shea Wiley, and both of them have stepped up to give us some goals out of the midfield and some more consistent play. So I think we got Jordan Baker returning back, which is great. I think she's still yet to find her stride, but she's getting there each game, getting better and better, coming off an ACL tear. So it was surprising to see us get some of those goals. I think I thought we'd be in tighter games earlier on, but I just feel the girls have stepped up for Bridget, and her energy that she brought she's on that sideline too, and their ears trying to help them pick up the pace.
Yeah, and with all of the success to this point in the season, how do you keep the girls focused at practice on focusing up for their next game?
That can be tricky. I mean, that's one thing that we said. That can be, hard, because when you're winning consistent games, sometimes complacency sets in, and I think it could be safe to say we maybe saw that in the RV game a little bit. It was the end of a 4-game road trip for us in 7 days, I guess 4 games in 7 days. And that showed. I think it's just, we set pretty concrete goals in the beginning of the year. We know where we've been the last couple years. We want to try to three-peat as conference champs. We want to try to, finally get that monkey off our back with the Group 2 title and see if we can get past that part. But, definitely I think just trying to stay focused to what our goals are, and having some great seniors that sometimes that takes the pressure off a coach. They pick it up. They're the ones to talk and get it going. So.
And now focusing up more towards today, major matchup against Shalleck, who has only allowed 4 goals all season. Talk about the offensive game plan coming in to today's matchup.
Yeah, so this is going to be our first game on the turf, which will be great. Shalleck is, top 1 or 2 seeds in Group 1 right now, and I think we were fortunate enough on our schedule this year to we scrimmaged Eastern, who was top seed, one of the top seeds in Group 4. We have Kingsway, who is also top Group 4. So we're getting to see some of the better schools in each group. Shalleck has I believe a 22-goal scorer coming in as a senior. So we obviously want to pay attention to her, make sure defensively we're consistent. But offensively, I just think, we talked about just being unselfish. I think the key is we have 3, 4, 5 girls that can score. It's just a matter of, finding that person, playing some unselfish soccer, and getting us opportunities in that final third that we want to get. So, I think today, coming off the 2 ties, we want to, we want to go. We want to hope that we can score some goals and get some offensive production.
Yeah, and in the second half of the season, now looking towards the latter half of the season, you got a lot of teams that have winning or 500 records. Is that a concern for you that the second half is the harder side of the schedule?
It can be. It's I think we look at it like we want to play that level of soccer going into playoffs, so there's not a fall off. I mean, there's been years where maybe you play a few lighter games and it takes the speed and tempo of the game down, and you go into playoffs not there. I think last year what we saw, being part of the coaches tournament, we hit a stretch there where I think we played like 4 games in 5 days, and we were beat up. We ended up seeing Cherokee, who beat us 5-0 in that. I think what we learned from that was, we have to have a better balance at the end of the year of some rest, but it is good to play these stronger teams and try to keep a consistent pace and tempo in our style of play so that we can go into the playoffs sharp and playing at a high level.
And then last question for you, Coach. Bit of a personal question, but on the sideline, what is your favorite word or phrase to yell to try and make an adjustment to somebody who might be lacking on the field a little bit?
Oh God, I think I have a reputation sometimes for, yelling a lot of things on the sideline. But I think with this team, a lot of times it's just like, I just think it's effort. I think with us sometimes we know if we can give a great effort and we can get out there and push the play, we're going to be tough. We're made up of a lot of juniors and seniors. This is the 4th year here, and we've been building things up each year. And I just think it's given that effort, no matter what it is, off the ball, on the ball, defensively, offensively, feed off each other, and continue to play hard. I think there's that. We're trying to take that pride this year in doing that, and when we're on that page, we're tough. We're fun. We're tough, and I think they see that. So. Sometimes you hear me yell shape a lot because I want us to have good positioning because, everybody wants the ball. This is a hungry group of girls. So, it's just spreading things out. But yeah, effort's the key.
And so that'll do it here for the Coaches Show. Thanks again to Jim Kay for joining us. I'm Jay Clark, and as always, go Knights.